really good when it's good. I feel that when it actually gets to like the actual battles, it's brilliant. Yeah, like it's so really good. You know, the art is amazing. The fights are so good. Yeah, the fights are always like amazing. The choreography is amazing. The formula is the same every time, right? It's like 15 or so minutes of dialogue, and then it's like 5 minutes of action, right? It's been for almost every episode. That episode, yeah. So it has to be very formula though. And the problem is that the dialogue is like horrible. I think it's problems. Or it's like a too good that is bad thing almost, like, because the action is so good. So you're sitting here waiting because you know it's gonna be really good action those last 5 minutes. You're like, give me the action, give me the action. And you finally get the action, and it's really satisfying. So the next episode or 2 episodes from now, you're gonna be like, oh, it's dialogue now. Where's the action coming, right? You're sitting there waiting for the action to come. That's how I feel here. I feel like I want that action, right? So not because I'm obsessed with action. I feel that the action in this anime is much better than dialogue. Let's be true here. If I watch like One Piece, a good example here. If I watch like world building in One Piece, I have that rather than action. Yeah, I rather want to see them build up like the Sister Dragons, the truth of the world, the history of One Piece. I rather see that than seeing Luffy fighting the new guy. Like, I'd much rather see that. I think that's amazing, interesting here. The amazing world building. I want to see that. But in this anime, the world building isn't that fun, honestly. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's, you know, yeah, it's middle there. Yeah, it feels like that's how I feel, right? It's like, but yeah, when I watch the anime, I don't think it's bad, but I feel that the world building is just kind of similar. His backstory with, you know, oh, I lived up here in the snow, they come and kill my mom and burn down our village, like the most cliche backstory ever. And I don't mean ever in anime, I mean like ever, like literally ever. The whole burn down your village thing. I remember when I took narrative design many years ago. That was like 2009. Yeah, so I'm old, right? So yeah, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I took 9 years ago. So this is very important. 9 years ago, I took a narrative design course. Right? I took several times. Yeah, because I'm educated, right, so to speak, and listed some stuff, I suppose. And anyway, so the first day, my teacher or the professor, I guess, professor, yeah, he talks about the burning down village trope. In the first hour, like the first 5 minutes, he's like, this is one of the most classic trope to create a narrative, right? To create this heroic narrative. And he goes over that in detail. And I'm laughing. I'm sitting there a little embarrassed because I can't keep my laughter. I'm like, oh my god, it's so true. And he goes over it very analytically, very objectively, why it's a very typical trope. And he's like, you know, this is a trope from the two, like from, you know, like Mesopotamian, yeah, like Greek, Mesopotamian, Rome, and it's like a very, very, very old, like a several thousand years old trope, right? And he goes over it very, very methodically, very good, very good, professor. And he goes over it very, very objectively and explains it in a great way. And I just laughed. I had to, like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because what you're saying is so true. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, what you're saying is so true. I have seen it in like 20 or 40 or whatever games and movies and so on. What you're saying is extremely true. It's so funny because you're definitely on the point. It's absurdly. It's so funny because it's so true. Yeah, and that was 9 years ago. Then, yeah, 9 years ago, and the first of all, I was thinking about several games. And this is for game design education. Right? So he was like, he used a lot of game design samples mainly, or game samples, right? But also from old books and so on. So as soon as when I saw that, episode 3, I was like, this backstory isn't bad, but it's the most overused backstory ever. Like, you usually have that backstory with alteration on it, right? And this literally had the burning village backstory. That is the most common backstory of a hero in like for 3,000 years ago or more. Like, literally. Like, I would say, like, I don't mean figuratively, I mean literally. The most common backstory, right? And or, you know, version of it, but especially then the burning village, that's the most common one. So, you know, in that sense, and then mom giving a present. I mean, come on, like, this. I don't want to say too much about that, but I feel like, you know, the world building anime, it's what it is, right? It's a vampire story, you know, the vampires and werewolves they're fighting, yeah. Like, I'll say it's particularly bad, but it's just so done right. I mean, I'm a big fan, I said it again. I love Angel. I'm a tremendous fan of Angel, right? And Buffy as well. But Angel is like my favorite TV show. Like, literally. Like literally again, no, but Angel is one of my absolute favorite TV. I love Angel. And I read all. I read all the Buffy and Angel books and all the side stories, all the comics. I have my comics right. I have the DVD, everything. Yeah, I love it, but and other similar vampires as well, like Vampire Origins. I see a lot of vampires as well. So this whole thing here with like the vampire fighting and so on, yeah, it's obviously it's like it's underworld, it's so on, right? It's been done to death as well, right? So I think that have to be said here, right? The world building anime, it's like, okay, your world building something that we all have seen before in like 20 other shows, right, or books or something, and True Blood or whatever, right? Yeah, like I'm a big fan of True Blood for the band as well, so yeah, I love True Blood. Actually, I'm a big vampire fan, I guess. So yeah, so I've seen the stories like 10 times before, right? So when you're world building this anime, or world building and like the story building this anime, for the first, and they always do it for the first 10 or so minutes, right? It's always like 10 to about 15 minutes in the first episode. It's always world building or story building, and then it's fights, right? It's all the same formula. And after that formula is done, it's an amazing fights. And it's always frustrating this anime because I say it again, I don't think it's bad. I think it's very, very cliche, right? I feel like it's just okay. It's mediocre. They're kind of just rehashing old stuff, making it their own, I guess, somewhat, but not really like amazing. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Like 7 out of 10. It's fine. Yeah. It's like I don't think it's the worst ever. I think it's like 7 out of 10. It's like a little better. Yeah. It's pretty much in the middle there. But then these fights at the last 5 minutes, when they're like gliding on the thing, fighting there. The scene there, Ryoko's fall is a great scene. So when they actually get to the action, this anime is such a well-produced action scenes, and it feels like even the dialogue and so on. They have a strong point of them is the setup. They're very beautiful. The scenes are great. It's a very nice, how they look, right? So I feel that it's like this anime is very, very pleasing, right, for the eyes. It's very, very well produced, but it's very, very cliche, I suppose. It's very tropey, yeah. And obviously it's gonna be a damn stress, so it's definitely gonna be saving her later. It's very, very tropey. And also the brother, evil older brother, wanted to kill him now. Kind of not trying to defeat his younger brother because he kind of wants to be loose. Also a very big trope, right? So it's very, very tropey. And yeah, but it's very, very well done though, right? But I definitely feel anime. I really want to say it. I don't want to come off with some kind of action lover. Right? I have to have mad action. No, not at all. Like I think many animes, even short animes, I prefer them when they have this great dialogue and great storytelling, right? And the emotion and so on, the journey and stuff like that, yeah. Especially as I mentioned earlier, One Piece. The One Piece doing that, like, okay, we're explaining the world. I was like, man, this is good. I love that. If you read the manga One Piece like 10 or so weeks ago now, I don't want to spoil it for the anime, but they did the very world building arc there. That was my favorite arc. I was like, just blowing my mind every chapter, right? Then now we have action in the manga again. I don't think it's bad. I love it right now, but still it's like, man, this is awesome. But that 10 weeks ago, there was just world building. That was the 11 out of 10 every week. I was like crying every week how good it was. Now it's like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But that week, those chapters, that was like, it's even better, yeah. It's just godlike better. So I'm not that guy that even likes the action thing too much, right? But this anime, I feel, I guess it's very superficial anime. I guess it's just the action is. It's very, very well animated, very well choreographed. So the action is just really, really good. The action is fantastic, and then the other stuff is kind of there, right? So I think that's a big problem, I suppose. You just want to get the action points, something like that. I think it's enjoyable. The next episode is going to be even better again, like the trade episodes. The next episode will be in the middle of the action, right? So it's going to be good probably. But I do feel that this episode here was like the other episode earlier. It's really, really awesome fights. So get me to the fight, because the other stuff before that isn't that good. It's not bad either. It's kind of like it's been done before, I feel. Yeah, it's very, very like cliche. It's very like, yeah, just get me to the really awesome fight instead, yeah. So it's hard anime to watch instead, I feel. Or hard watch, but I kind of like, man, it's an interesting anime in that sense. Or non-interesting, I guess. Yeah, like you just get me to the awesome fights. So anyway, I hope that's the review. And I know people say like, oh, you hate the anime, but I don't really hate it. I just feel like it's just very, very well done. On certain things like choreography, action, and so on, clothing, it's very, very pleasing, right? It's very, very aesthetically pleasing, but the how you say it, kind of like the depth of it is lacking, I suppose. Yeah, like it's not really that deep, right? It's like it's superficially very, very awesome, and that's why you want the action more, because action scenes can have less of a story to tell. It should be a good action scene, right? And that's how definitely I feel. And also very, very formulaic. It's also the same thing, right? So anyway, hope that the review, hope that the live reaction early to later. Like button, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week with more Sirius the Jaeger and also